Chelsea against Manchester City, it really is the game of the season so far.
This City-Chelsea game is going to be a very, very good matchup.
You know, Man City and Chelsea are ruthless.
Now it's all about who has the best tactics, who has the best players in terms of technique.
Fowler with the strike!
Can City be the team to get in Chelsea's way?
What a finish by Lily Murphy!
Be prepared for a roller coaster.
You want to win at all costs, and it's as simple as that.
Hello and welcome to Match Day Live. It is a double header here on Saturday, but first we are starting with the Women's League Cup final at Pride Park. It's Manchester City women versus Chelsea before the men take on Brighton here at the Etihad Stadium. We're looking at the live scenes at Pride Park in preparation for kick-off. And there's a legend as well. She's just given us a wave here in the studio. And it's with great pleasure to say, joining me in our studio is two legends who are going to be taking you through both fixtures today. Toni Duggan and Steve Howey. Toni, how are we feeling?
Yeah, good. Really excited. Looking forward to it. Cup final day is always extra special, so hopefully the girls can get over the line. And
that is what we are going to be focusing on straight away, Steve. A cup final to kick off a Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think the women will be probably a little bit disappointed it's not at Wembley. And that's not being disrespectful to Pride Park, but having said that, it's still a final, so and there's silverware to be won, so big game.
A huge game indeed, and let's reveal to you then, shall we, the starting lineup for Manchester City women in the final. In goal is Yamashita, and at right back is Kirsten Kasparai, and then it's Grace Pryor at centre-half with our captain, Laia Alexandri. Laia Harvey plays, as does Yui Hasegawa. Vivian Miedemar also starts for Manchester City women. Alongside her in midfield is Jill Roord. And then the front three is Oba, Fagino, Mary Fowler, and of course, the goal-scoring machine, Bunny Shaw. It's one change from the game against Aston Villa as Jess Park drops out and Fagino starts. Now then, we've seen the starting lineup for Manchester City women in the cup final, Toni. When you look at that lineup, feeling confident?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a strong team. Obviously, it's a big statement from Nick in his first game to come in and drop Jess Park. I think she'll be devastated missing out on the final. Obviously scored last week against Aston Villa, but Virginia coming into the starting lineup, I just think before she got injured, she was in incredible form. So I can kind of see why he's done it, but it'll be a difficult one to take for Jess, but hopefully she can come on in the second half and have an impact.
Yeah, one of our own, Jess Park as well. I mean, it's a great option to have from the bench. When we look at that front three, Steve, we're looking at Bunny Shaw and all eyes will be on her, of course. She is a goal-scoring machine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the goals I was watching before we've come on air is I think against Liverpool. And the strength that she has, holding the defender off, but she scores all kinds of goals, and that's what a top striker does. You know, you get a range of goals, the little tap-ins, but she scores once from outside the box, the headers, volleys, all kinds, and I look a very, very good player.
I mean, from a defensive point of view, how do you stop someone like Bunny Shaw? Because I saw her against the Villa game last week as well, which is another cup competition which City is still fighting for to potentially win. She likes to drop deep sometimes. She holds up the ball really well. She can go in behind like she did for her goal, as we see here. She's got everything for a centre-forward.
Yeah, for me, you see that goal there against Villa last week, you know, her movement is just brilliant. She comes in short and then in behind, look at that, and the ball as well from Mary Fowler, who's been in incredible form. But look at the finish as well. Bunny Shaw is going to give a tough task today to Millie Brighton at Bjorn. They have to be on their game because she gets one chance, she will take it.
Mary Fowler, 12 goal involvements in 10 games, so 5 goals and 7 assists, Steve. We've just seen that pass she made to Bunny Shaw. I mean, how good is it, the chemistry that they've got between themselves?
Well, obviously they work on it, you know, all the time in training, and I think when you've got that relationship, so you basically can play a pass without really looking, because you know, and as well off the pitch, you speak to each other and just think, well, if the ball comes in this area, you can just even help it on because I'm going to be there. And I think if you've got that understanding, I mean, that pass there, yes, it's a great goal, but the pass makes it because it's got the pace on it, the perfect pace, and there's the touch then finishes it off. But great run, very good understanding, as I said. And when you've got that, again, that's a threat because you're going into this game, and Chelsea, yeah, probably is the favourites, but I guarantee you they'll not like playing against them too.
Does it play into City's hands with Chelsea being the favourites here? Does it take a little bit of pressure off them?
I've always liked being an underdog. I mean, you've got nothing to lose type of thing, so I don't think City will mind that. Nick Cushion's been in this position before. You know, we won our first trophy in 2014. It was this competition as well, Nick's first trophy. And we were the underdog, so Nick knows how to manage the game. You know, we played Arsenal back in 2014. Nobody expected us to win, but we stayed in the game and we won the game 1-0. And I think that's what he'll be emphasising to the team today. Look, we're not going to have all the possession in the world that we want. Chelsea are a great team, but stay in the game and maybe we can just nick a goal.
We will touch on their memories that you had with Nick at some point. It was great for every Manchester City fan as well. And we'll also be hearing from Nick very, very soon. I want to talk to you about the midfield as well, Steve. We're looking at Howey Hasegawa, who, for me, is one of the best in her position in the women's game. She's absolutely vital to the system.
Yeah, and when you've got a player like that, that's sort of in front of your back four, which gives you that protection as well, but also a very good playmaker, can make things happen. When you've got a player like that, and obviously very tenacious in the tackle, makes it very difficult for the opposition team. As I said, I think the saying is worth the weight in gold, but apparently gold's not worth that much anymore. But yeah, I mean, a fantastic player, very good to organise the team as well. And as I said, when you've got that, it gives you a really good, solid base. And in front of her, she's got a lot of experience today as well, Jill Roord and Viv Miedema. Do you expect one of them to drop deeper, maybe alongside her?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Nick does if he goes with the two, just to be secure in there against Chelsea. You know, they have a great midfield as well, and obviously I don't expect that to be Viv. She's more offensive, but Jill Roord, it'd be interesting to see if she plays higher up alongside Viv or drops in deeper again with Hasegawa, just to help her and give the defence that security, because that's what worries me a little bit, the defence today. Obviously we're missing the likes of Alex Greenwood and the experience there. Rebecca Knack's come in and done really well, but she's injured unfortunately, so there's been a bit of an adaptation to the team. And Grace Pryor today, you know, it's a massive day for her. She's still so young, and this is probably the biggest game of her career.
Biggest game of her career, but also a massive, massive opportunity for her. When you're a young player and you're stepping into an environment like that, Steve, is it just a case of doing the right, simple things nice and early and settling into the game? Yeah, I think so. You know, just maybe the first couple of passes, just don't try to be kind of pinging one, 50, 60 yards. Just do it nice and simple. But at the same time, she's in there for a reason. She's a good player. You know, so I think sometimes people, I mean, the saying is, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And obviously she's in there on her own right and deserves to be in there. So, sometimes when you have opportunities like this, you've got to grab it with both hands. And of course, she's got the likes of Kirsten Kasperai in that back four as well, who's vital for experience. She'll be relishing today as well. Oh, she's been brilliant, Kasperai. I think she's played all the minutes so far this season, and she's really impactful in this team, getting up and down that full back position, and she'll be really important today, especially for the defence. And they're coming up against Chelsea sides who are really strong in them areas. You've got Canada, you've got Macario, Lauren James. Be interesting to see who plays out there. But it'll be a big test today for City. But I'm sure these players will step up. Do you think City will potentially play a little bit deeper than what they normally do in this fixture? I mean, under Nick, of course, today it could be a slightly different system, but they are going to potentially surrender a lot more of the ball. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think in the game when Chelsea won the game 2-0 in November, Chelsea went a bit more direct, and I think they've seen that City like to keep that high line. So it's a difficult one to judge because Nick's coming in. Obviously he was my manager, but this was 12 years ago, so things have changed, and he'll be weighing up where they can exploit Chelsea. So it'll be interesting to see how they start. But yeah, that high line for me, I think if Chelsea can get in behind, that'll be a bit of a problem for City. So it'll be interesting to see how he solves that one. And it's so important as well, of course, to keep them quiet as well early on. Is it a case of just trying to ease your way into this fixture, or try and get an early goal and give yourself something to hold on to? Well, if you can, get an early goal, absolutely. But it's imperative you're nice and tight and strong at the back, and basically set your stall out to let them know, listen, if you're going to break us down, you have to do something a little bit special. So be well organised. Communication's absolutely vital as well. And basically you're looking for one of their players to do something special. Sometimes on a big occasion you can get a player that does something special, but you're just hoping that they can have a bit of an off day. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You don't want to give them, reward them. We've done the game a few weeks back, Steve, against United, and they give so many opportunities away at the back, and that's what you can't do in a cup final. You don't want to be, the person that gives that goal away or makes a mistake. So to keep things simple, yeah, if you can get an early goal, great. But yeah, really be secure at the back today. Right, okay, so how superstitious are you both? Because I'm reading my iPad and I've got a stat for Pride Park. I don't know what this is going to mean, but hopefully it'll help some of the people who are nervous watching at home, because good omens on Cup final day, Man City have yet to lose a game at Pride Park. We're talking the men's team have played 3 times. They've all drawn 1-1. A certain someone actually scored in 2001 at Pride Park. Any idea who scored in 2001 at Pride Park?
Well, I was absolutely prolific here. I was Shearer-esque at Man City. But,
an absolute bullet header, I've told. Here we go.
It was a decent header.
Oh, it's a great goal.
It's like a power header, that.
To be fair, it wasn't a great corner by Danny, but I made it look good.
How many Premier League goals that season? 6?
I don't know.
What a header that is.
It's a great goal. Take one of them today, the girls would.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, that's just... No keeper in the world saves that.
No, it was Poom as well. He was a decent goalkeeper. I think he's about 6'7", but he looks about 2 foot in that goal.
Yeah, because he went top bins, that's why. Steve Howey in 2001, rolling back the years. The Academy have also played there. Papa John's Trophy. And when I say the Academy, it had the likes of Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis. They won 3-1. Unbelievable. So we also beat them in the Youth Cup in 2019. City's goal scorers that night: Jeremy Frimpong, who now plays for Leverkusen, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who plays for Southampton, and also recently scored for England.
He did.
So, when we're looking at stats, you just said it's meant to be. Do you ever look at that as a player?
Not really, but then once you hear it, it's in your head then, so you kind of block all that out. For me, I did anyway. You don't want to learn any of that, you know. I think Chelsea's tough opposition as it is, and you just go into the game focused on getting the win. Yeah, I don't like to learn any of this.
Yeah, I think records, voodoos, all that, they're all meant to be broken. I suppose, and always probably will. But having said that, I mean, some players take it really seriously when it comes to superstitions and stuff like that. But listen,
did you have any before the game or anything? I didn't have any.
No.
No.
No, well, I mean, it's one of them ones. What will be, will be. You've just got to make sure that you just give it your best shot.
It'd drive me mad if I'd done something the opposite way and it was always that way. I'd think I'd have a bite. It'd make me I didn't have anything.
I think if you hadn't set up the way that you wanted to set up and you've gone out, you've thought, oh, I didn't do that the way that I wanted to. It would probably knock you off a little bit. But
not superstitious.
Have you got superstitions?
Not really. No, I mean, I didn't. Them stats were from the producer, not from me. So if anything does go wrong, it's not my fault. No, I'm not superstitious at all. But I'm also not an athlete. So yeah, I'll leave the superstitions or lack of them to you two. Let's focus on the men's game for a second, then, shall we? Because here at the Etihad Stadium, or shall I call it the City in the Community Etihad Stadium, as it's been rebranded for today's fixture, our men's team are taking on Brighton later on. Steve, we're looking at the Premier League table. 5th in the Premier League. 5th spot is now a Champions League spot, officially. And that is what we're playing for in the Premier League, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously, Brighton are on a great run after the, basically, a trouncing against Nottingham Forest, 7 it was that day. And since then, they've never lost and gone in the quarter-final of the FA Cup as well. Obviously, Brighton be looking at that and looking at if they can come here and get some things, especially a win, they go above City. But I'm looking at that table, and I have to be honest, I still think City will finish in the Champions League spots comfortably. I don't think it'll be like the 5th place. I think it'll be 3rd or 4th for me.
I believe that too, but I think today's game is going to be difficult against Brighton. I've been impressed with Brighton, but not just in the men's team, but at the club as a whole, if I'm being honest. The women's team as well, they've done really good this year. You know, the foundations, the way they play. I think it stems right the way throughout the club, and obviously they beat City a few months back, so hopefully it's not the same scoreline today. But they've been good against top opposition as well. They've beat Chelsea, they've beat United, so it's going to be a difficult game, and I want City to bounce back from last week, definitely.
I mean, if we go back to that fixture as well, it was a similar sort of story for City. There was a couple of chances there when they were 1-0 up, and then it was sort of the last few minutes of the game they ended up losing.
Yeah, I think that's been the story of the season so far. Even if you look at last week's loss, you know, 1-0, City controlled the game, 70% possession, 14 shots on target, but they're just not being as clinical this year. So yeah, I think it's going to be a different game today. It has to be if City want to get the result.
There's only 1 point between the sides as well, so it is a massive opportunity for the away side here as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as I said, they'll fancy the chances. The confidence in the dressing room will be sky high. I'm not too sure whether you will see it on this clip, but I think it's when Brighton score, the camera goes on Erling Haaland, and you can see the frustration in him. He's absolutely livid at the fact that they conceded. But in the Premier League, there's never really any easy games, and this will be a tough game for City, 100%. But I'm, hugely confident that we'll get the win today.
And I mean, amazingly, we have got that footage as well. This is exactly what you're talking about. This was the goal, a bit of a mess in the box, Toni, as well, to concede that goal. It was a kick in the teeth for the performance as well, because think City potentially, it's based on the first half, deserved a lot more.
Yeah, and I think most games have been like that. As I said, they've been dominating games, but just not getting it over the final line. You can see there Haaland's reaction, and I think that's been the frustration of the club this year. It's been a bit of a transition year. It's been difficult for them to get going, but you look at the table there, and they're still actually it's surprising to see that they can still get Champions League. So it's a shame that they're not up there competing with Liverpool, you know, for the title like the previous years. But they definitely hope that they get Champions League. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and here's another goal as well from the Brighton game as we're showing it. Apologies to everyone who doesn't want to see this, of course. But Steve, I mean, the goals we were conceding, it just looked like we were getting picked apart.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Brighton are a very good footballing team, but it was pretty simple football. You know, I mean, decent touch, but to go pretty much through the centre of your defence is probably not the best way to concede. I mean, it's never a good way to concede a goal, but I'm sure the manager and the players involved would have been disappointed with that. Yeah, a lot of injuries as well that day in terms of the back four. Massive injuries this season. I mean, everybody talks about, well, everybody gets injuries, but City's injury list this season has been absolutely horrendous. A quick word on Christianov as well. We have to mention him. He's becoming a cult hero. Brilliant. Rightly so. He's been absolutely brilliant. He obviously had the difficult start against Chelsea, but he's 21 years of age, and in that position, we spoke about Grace Pryor today starting, but you're going to make mistakes at that age in that position, and unfortunately, you're the centre half, so if you make a mistake, likelihood is it's going to be a goal. But since that game, he has just gone from strength to strength. You see that last Brighton goal there. City need that reassurance in the centre of the park, and he's been brilliant. Body on your line defending, the way he dealt with Chris Wood last week, you know, his physique. Obviously, they lost the game, but I felt like his performance was a standout performance, and it's what City need. Yeah, it's what City need indeed, and we look forward to watching our men's team later. But of course, the focus is on the Women's League Cup final. We're going to head back to Pride Park right now, where George and Karen are standing by with the new boss, Nick Cushing.
Thanks a lot, guys. Welcome to Pride Park. It looks sunny, but do not let that deceive you. It is freezing right now. But I'm joined by two very special guests. Karen, thank you, first of all, for joining us. I suppose the man of the hour is Nick Cushing with us right now. So, Nick, firstly, welcome back to the club. Great to have you. Obviously, the team has just been announced, and Alba Fagino being back, as you suggested, potentially playing. Great to have her back in the fold.
Yeah, I think... You know, I've spent this week trying to get to know the players. I'm familiar with the performances because I've been watching the games and I've had a chance to watch the video. But, you know, I've relied on the staff to fill me in on the characters. And Alba is somebody that in the big games has really delivered for us. So it was an easy decision for me to put her back in.
More generally on the new players, because obviously there's a few familiar faces, Jess Park obviously one of them. But how have those new signings been for you? Is it quite exciting getting to know them as well as it being a challenge as well?
Yeah, because, you know, I'm quite familiar with a lot of, you know, Viv and Jill and those players that I coached against, and, you know, I always found them as real quality. So to get to know them in our team and to try and be, you know, play a small part in getting the best out of them, and, you know, the likes of you, Hasegawa, they're quality football players, and for me it's about making sure that now they can put the performances together in the critical games to win trophies.
Karen, obviously you stood right next to us, but what did you think about the team today? Are you excited by what you've seen?
Yeah, I'm really excited. You know, I was kind of trying to do some predictions in my head about what the starting 11 might look like, and I think we're very much on the same page, so I'm excited to see it. But Nick, I was wondering, you know, obviously back into the City fold and everything, you've been keeping track of the girls, but who's really stood out to you in training so far this week?
Yeah, I actually think it's probably two players that aren't in the squad. I thought Jess Park, she trained really well. She's really, you know, really unfortunate to not be in the team today, but I think she'll play a huge part in the game. I think it'll be critical when she comes in. And Caroline as well, as I said to her yesterday, she was really close to playing because in small areas that I think I can improve the team, she's been that one player that I think will be a real asset for us. So there's a lot of quality in the squad, but I also think we've got a lot on the bench that can help us today.
That's really exciting.
That's the key thing, isn't it? Of having that sort of impact coming off the bench at potentially a crucial moment. Maybe it'll be level, or maybe be trying to defend the lead or get into it. Having players like that on your bench is essential, really.
Yeah, and I also think I said to the group, we're going to need everybody because, you know, it's a tight turnaround for a really big Champions League game, then a league game, and, you know, we need to push for a Champions League finish. So having a bench today that is engaged in the game, that is ready to come and improve the team is important, but also being ready to play because this team is going to rotate through this period.
Karen, you've been a hero of previous League Cup final wins. I'm thinking back to you nearly breaking your hand by punching the post at Bramall Lane. Who do you think could be the hero for City today?
Oh, well, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of players that are going to want to step up. It's such a great occasion, obviously, being in a final to win the first silverware of the year as well. So I think, obviously, Howey is going to be, you know, the person that's, you know, pulling the strings in the midfield. But, you know, what I expect and from what I know about you, I think we're going to see a lot of freedom and maybe something slightly different than what we've seen previously. But I imagine, you know, Bunny Shaw is going to be absolutely feeling it today. Mary Fowler, Owa Fujino, able to get forward a little bit more. I imagine those are probably the players that are going to stand out today.
Yeah, you know, one thing I said to the group is, you know, I can have all the ideas in the world, but we've got some real quality here, and the likes of Mary Fowler and Auber and Bunny and Jill and Viv, it's a very offensive lineup, and for me it's about just trusting them. Get the players out there, go play, go and show how good you are, and win it for each other. You know, you speak about the KB moment in the penalty shootout at Bramall Lane. I showed a video last night of the 8 trophies that we've won, and I said, you know, this is a special football club, and you know, my aim is for this team to be a winning team, and to show that and to say to these players, you know, go add a video on the end of this because the opportunity is there.
Fantastic. And just a final question for both of you, actually. Your former teammate, your former forward, Toni Duggan, is in the studio. Just wondering if you have a message for her to say hello and see what she's thinking of today.
Listen, if we had a player like Toni here today, then I would be super confident in the win, because in my team, she always delivered in the big moments, in the finals and in the league wins. That's what we need today. We need a player like Toni that is going to relish the occasion and bring a big moment.
KB, final words for Toni?
Oh, no, I just wish she was here to experience what the atmosphere is going to be like today, because, you know, as Nick says, she was a big game player, and she was a huge personality in the squad, but you know, the team's got plenty of personality now, so now it's about, as you mentioned, that blend and that balance of attacking threat, you know, against Chelsea today. So, yeah, Toni, at least you're nice and warm.
Well, thanks, guys. Good luck today, Nick, and back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was very wholesome. That was a lovely touch from both Nick and KB. I think we saw that on the screen as well. But how do you feel hearing that from your former manager who you won trophies with, and of course your former team?
Oh, and it was so nice. I wasn't expecting that, but no, it just brings back great memories. We had a great squad. We were really successful. We won trophies together, and you know, the respect's mutual. We had a great time, and wish them luck. All the luck in the world today.
Yeah, it's also so good to see KB living her best life at Pride Park. Hopefully she's going to be getting involved in some celebrations in some form. Let's reveal the Chelsea team to you, shall we then? So we're going to reveal that, and in goal is Hampton. And then there is a start for Bronze, Bjorn, Millibright, Baltimore, Cuthbert, Nusken, Ritting Canarid, Macario, James and Ramirez. The substitutes are on the screen for you as well. I mean, there's only one place to start when you look at this Chelsea lineup, Toni, and it's of course Lauren James, who scored the match winner last weekend against Crystal Palace. Goes without saying how important she is to Chelsea's system when she's fit.
Oh, what a player she is. I mean, she can just create something from nothing and make the magic in the moment. And you know, these cup final days don't faze her. She's so calm, she's so relaxed, and she always wants the ball, but she's dangerous. You know, City have to be on the guard with her today, because she can be so quiet for 70, 80 minutes, but in that instant she can make something happen, and that's the quality of Lauren James.
Yeah, she can play on the right, she can play through the middle. I mean, it's probably difficult to predict where she will be in this starting lineup, but she offers so much, doesn't she?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking there when we were just watching that little bit before, and every time I've watched her, as I said, we've had this discussion about sometimes she looks so laid back, you know, and I can imagine that rubs coaches up the wrong way sometimes, opposition players even. But I tell you what, when she gets the ball and she's up for it, she can cause a lot of damage. Very, very good player.
You can see the Chelsea team arriving. They seem to be super relaxed, and why wouldn't they be? They're in such a great position in all competitions.
Yeah, I mean, Sonia Bonpasta said at the start of her reign that she wants to go unbeaten this season, and for me this is the first massive hurdle. She'll want to get this first trophy under the belt, just like it kick-started us back in 2014. She'll be wanting to win this trophy today, but they have talent right across the team. On the subs bench you see Agabiva Jones there. What a talent she is, and she comes on, she impacts games. The front line is great. They've got pose a great threat, so it's going to be a difficult game today for City. And as you say, in all 4 competitions, City have got them 4 times over the next 2 weeks. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle.
It is going to be an interesting battle indeed. I mean, speaking of battles, we spoke about Gracie Pryor and how important today is for her. Ramirez, who scored the goal in the home game against City as well. She is a physical centre forward, and what a threat and what a challenge that is.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, some centre halves, well, a lot of centre halves tend to like that physicality, that battle. Some don't. Some like to play football and stuff like that. But obviously, Ramirez is one of these where she does like to back in and cause problems and be aggressive. You just see her there. I mean, just like the strength, very, very good. But obviously, a player that can score goals. I mean, that's that's a cultured finish. She picks that spot. It's not just hitting it hard and trying to get it on target. That's a placement. But initially, just shrugging the player off, showing her strength, just cuts across, and it's a wonderful finish.
For me as well, it's a battle of the best today. I think Ramirez and Bunny Shaw are two of the best, not just in the WSL, but in the world, in what they do and their attributes on the football pitch. They are the best at what they do. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top today. We're
looking at that Chelsea team, and Wrighton's injured today. She was in the team of the year last season in the WSL. She's been brilliant as well. She's a big miss, but they've got so much strength and depth, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I always speak about it, you know, obviously Chelsea had injuries to the back line as well, but when you can replace someone like Nat Bjorn and then you can go in January and, you know, spend 900,000 on Gamer, you know, that just shows their intent. But when you're in all four competitions, you need a squad with strength and depth, and that's what Chelsea have.
Have you ever been in a position where you've played the same team a couple of times in the same week? And do you ever, of course, today's a cup final, but do you ever look ahead to the bigger picture in some sense of, okay, we could probably, this one's the most important, or is it just a case of game by game?
I think, you know, as a player, I would always like to think that the manager was going to pick the best team to win a game, and if that meant picking the same team week in, week out, well, then that's what it is. I mean, I know there's a lot now more about rotation and stuff like that. Probably was starting to come in the back end of my career, but I think players, even players now, listen, if you're fit and you're playing well, you want to play every game. You know, you don't want the breather. If the manager comes to you and say, I'm just going to pull you out for a day, you'd be like, why? I don't want to. That was actually my downfall here with Kevin Keegan, to be quite honest. But, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, players, if they're in good form and they want to be part of a successful team, you want to play week in, week out.
I mean, we just saw the pictures of Millie Bright as well. I mean, we have to mention her because what a defender she is. She's absolutely amazing. She's really physical, really strong. She's up against Bunny Shaw today.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible battle. Obviously, Millie was my teammate at England and I didn't like coming up against her in training, but, you know, she's the captain of this Chelsea side. She's had a lot of success with them and, you know, she's instrumental to this team, not just in her presence on the pitch, but also off the pitch. But, yeah, her and Bunny today is going to be a great battle.
And Lucy Bronze as well, of course, a former Manchester City player. She's had an amazing career as well. It's an opportunity for her as well against her former club.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think always when you play against your former club, even though she's been there a while, you still want to kind of, shall we say, put one over your team. But yeah, what a player she's been over the years. You know, vast experience. But for her, it would be a lovely way to sort of get another trophy in the cabinet.
She's a serial winner as well, so every cup final, every big occasion, she rises to it. We've seen it on the international stage, but also being a teammate with her, I know how much she loves these occasions, and it's going to take a big performance from her today as well. You know, Virginio's in form, Mary Fowler's in form, so again, there's battles all over the pitch, and it's just a great game to look forward to.
It's a great game to look forward to, and we touched on it earlier about Manchester City being the underdogs in this situation. Toni, you said you relished opportunities like that. Do you think this group of players will feel similar?
I think they will, yeah. I think they've got nothing to lose. You know, we've just had a change of manager, short notice. You know, the girls will be taking on a lot of new information and you'll just think, why not? You know, it's a hectic schedule the next few weeks, and I think when a new manager comes in as well, Steve, you'll know that you know, the energy's lifted, everyone's fighting for places. You know, you see Jess Park missing out today. If she gets on that pitch today, she is going to be wanting to give absolutely everything to make sure that she's in the starting lineup midweek in Champions League. So there's going to be competition all over the pitch amongst the players as well. So, you know, hopefully it's the right decision and it impacts the team in a positive way.
Yeah, the midweek fixtures at the Joy Stadium first as well, but like we touched on, they'll probably be fully focusing on today. I want to speak to you about Alex Greenwood. Of course, she's not here today, so unfortunately she's injured, but her experience is vital. She's a top defender, she's a leader. Do you think she'll be getting in the ears of some of the younger players, in particular Gracie Pryor?
100%, because we've seen them coming in. Toni was sort of saying about, I think we spotted her, hadn't we, on the video thing. And I think she'd be invaluable in the dressing room, excellent in the dressing room, you know, to speak to even the more senior players, getting into them. But certainly for the younger players, Pryor's one of them, obviously just sort of having that conversation, calming her down, but also at the same time making her desperate to hurry up and get out there and get on with the game.
Well, we've just seen the Chelsea team as well. We're getting closer to kick-off, but I think this is a nice part of the show because we're gonna catch up with one of your former teammates, Toni, Izzy Christensen, alongside all of her amazing punditry work, which we sometimes see on Matchday Live. Let's take a look at what else she's been up to.
My money on you two. My money on you two is on Mason. Ross, I was distracting. They need to go again. Ella, got your back. I've got your back. So we're here tonight, Friday night session with the Under-16 Girls Academy. This is a matchday -1 session, which means smaller areas, high intensity, lots of sharp movements, lots of touches on the ball. Should be a good session. The girls have got a match tomorrow against Macclesfield Town, my hometown team. But yeah, really looking forward to it, and the girls are progressing really well this season.
Head, shoulders, knees, feet!
So tonight's session, I'm starting off with a technical drill. We've been working a lot lately on getting our hips open, shoulders open to face forward and play forward. Good, mate. Back foot receive, drive at the cone, next ball in. As soon as that ball's gone, keep it flowing. It's a big part of the way that we want to play here at Man City. You watch the first team play the same way. Everybody's constantly ready to receive the ball in the right areas and ready to play forward because ultimately we want to be playing forward all the time. That'll then progress into a 5v5 rondo where I've put some wide channels in because we want to get the players focusing on switching the play through midfield, which links nicely to the first part of the session. And then we're going to go into a small-sided game at the end where the keepers will join us. I find the girls love having a little bit of an incentive around the session, trying to really encourage them to problem solve, but constantly trying to make every session linked to the methodology of what this club wants, and we want the players to be really brave and comfortable playing forwards. So they hear me say it a lot, hips open, shoulders open, scanning, awareness of what's around them, because these habits at this age are really important. I want us to really emphasise hips and shoulders open. So if I'm divine on here, I'm getting ready to receive, I'm scanning, I know I'm passing to Niobe. So in we come loose, my hips are open, going to Niobe. Hips are open, shoulders are open. You know, why coaching? I did a degree in sport, physical education and coaching science. So there's always been that sort of inquisitive nature around what I wanted to do in terms of coaching and teaching. I wanted to be a PE teacher, but I ended up signing a professional contract at Man City, unfortunately. So that's a joke, by the way, I absolutely loved it. I love working with this group. I think they're fantastic. I love working with the staff I work with as well. I think they're an exceptional group of people. It feels like we're really striving and pushing forward and, you know, part of this massive operation at Manchester City to really help develop this girls' academy. I work with such a fantastic, diverse group of people who've got different coaching backgrounds, and obviously me coming into that, I've been humbled a lot coming from my playing background. But yeah, there's always been that sort of itch, and I'm absolutely loving being part of this football club again. Let's go, chop chop! I always say I just want to be part of a winning team in whatever role that turns out to be. I don't know, I don't want to hang a hat on a particular role. I'm a firm believer in collaborative leadership and learning on the pitch and off the pitch. Macy, come and press me now. Now what happens to the Blues? Entice, excellent. Where were you, Ray? In a great position. I've just been with Steph earlier today, and it's, you know, we're sort of, you know, talking about football and, you know, planning sessions together, and yeah, and obviously KB, Karen Bardsley, has obviously done a fantastic job as academy manager as well. So it's amazing, honestly, the three of us, we won the WSL title together here, so we're always going to have that special connection. But I just love how positive and how enthusiastic everyone is, and how committed everyone is to winning.
Great ball again, Niobe.
We've got, you know, so many players on different journeys, and I think that's the most important thing, to understand that the girls are all on different journeys, even though they're similar ages. 15, 16-year-olds I coach, some 14-year-olds as well, and everybody's learning journey is going to look different, and it's trying to make the girls understand that as well, that their peer might be excelling, you know, one week, and then they might then excel the week after. Excellent! The amount of work that goes in is unbelievable to make these girls ready to perform. It's so intricate, but it's so fascinating, and ultimately I'd love to be part of a winning team, and I'm talking about Champions Leagues, talking about WSL titles, and hopefully some of these girls will be playing in that Joy Stadium in the near future.
Now that was a wholesome segment. Coach Izzy, how nice is that to see?
I knew she'd always do something like that. She was always destined for stuff like that. But no, it's great that, you know, the girls are staying in the game, passing on their information, their experience, because she was a great player, Izzy, and it's nice to see.
It is nice to see, indeed. Steve, when you look at that, you look at the smile on the young players' faces. How important is that when you're coming up?
It's huge, as Toni was saying there. I think, you know, somebody with Izzy's experience and what she's done in the game, I think then to be looking after, I think, was it under 16s, was it? I mean, they'd absolutely love that. I mean, it's the same when I was a kid, and you had ex-players coming in and passing on their advice. You try and soak it all in because they're speaking from experience.
And listen, speaking of experience, you know exactly where this goal is from. This is from the Arsenal game in 2014, City's first major trophy, which you were a part of. And a goal by Izzy in the...
What a memory this is, honestly. And the fact Crystal Johnson, one of my best mates as well, she got the assist. And before Manchester City actually went to Women's Professional League, Crystal was part of it from the start. So it's so nice that she got that assist. But great header from Izzy. And you'll always remember your first trophy with the club. And, you know, it was such a special, special time for us. You see what it meant to us, the celebrations and Nick's first trophy. And it really set us on the pathway to success. But I've got a soft spot for this cup just because of that moment.
That moment, indeed. We spoke about that winning goal from Izzy, which was, what a bullet header. You know about bullet headers. I've just seen one of yours earlier on in the show. What were your memories then of that day overall, before kick-off? How were the players feeling before kick-off there?
Nervous.
Do you think our team will be feeling similar today?
Yeah, I think for us though at that time, obviously we was a new team, we was a new club, we just started. The ambition was to obviously get to the top of the women's game. Arsenal at the time were, you know, they were the giants in women's football, you know, won year after year the league, and then there's Manchester City popping up, and no one expected us to win that day. We got battered first half. KB actually kept us in the game, the amount of saves that she made, and then Izzy popping up in about the 70th minute with that goal, and I just think then it was written that it was meant to be, and we partied after it, we celebrated, most definitely we did. There's so many ups and downs in football, but when you get them wins, you've got to celebrate, and we did, and we made the most of it, and then kicked on from there then, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was our first piece of silverware. Very similar to the men's team. I mean, you were part of the team that's paved the way for others to have success. I want to ask you about that team, playing in that team. What was it like? Because it looked like it was so much fun. We always see KB, especially on the show, like always vibing. Was she the same as well, like when she was playing as well?
I was saying just then as well, obviously seeing KB there at the stadium today at Pride Park, seeing Izzy, it's like a reunion, Nick's back. But it's nice, you get that feeling back, you know. I think football kind of goes by so quick, it's on to the next. But now that I've retired and I look back and reflect, there were definitely my most memorable moments in my career was playing for Manchester City. And I think also because we were started the journey, like I signed for the club and I remember them saying this is where we want to be, this is where we want to get to, and the fact that we were the team that took the club to that moment, to the top of the women's game. You know, we won the treble, we won trophies, and the friendships that you make and the moments that you have, you know, it's just, it was incredible. And City, unfortunately, haven't gone on to reach them heights in the past years as the amount of trophies, but hopefully this can kickstart them now.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a great start today. Are you still in touch with any of the players?
Yeah, I mean, but you see them now and then, you know, in the media world, everyone's doing different things, co-coms, punditry, coaching, you know, it's interesting to see people's pathways. But yeah, quick hi and bye, or how are you doing? But it's really nice to stay in touch.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that moment on behalf of all the fans of Manchester City. Now, of course, Steve, you know about Matchday Live. You know that we always like to stitch our guests up.
Yeah.
You said that you remember 2014, Toni, but how well did you remember 2014?
It's not involving me, so I'm all right.
How well? You thought it was involving you there. OK, we're going to ask you to reveal, if you can, the starting 11 from the 2014 final. That was Steve's idea, this, by the way. So we'll start with the goalkeeper.
I don't even know what flag that is. Number 16, what's that? What nationality is that?
Be anybody.
Right, OK, I'm going to go.
That was the Malta national team, by the way.
Was it?
Yes, it was actually a team.
Oh, OK, go on, I know who that is.
OK, well, we'll start from the goalkeeper.
KB, number 1.
Of course, that's correct.
Number 6, Steph Houghton, obviously.
Of course, the captain.
Number 8, Jill Scott. I'm just putting in who I definitely know.
Thought we were going to get some form of order in this.
No, sorry. Number 9, myself.
Yeah, correct.
Izzy Christensen, number 11. And then, sorry guys, in the studio, I haven't...
It's all right, keep them working, we like this.
Jane Ross, number 19. Kira Walsh, 24. So important to our team.
You were wrong with the number 19.
Oh, was I?
You were, yes.
That not Jane Ross? No. Wait, they'll come back to that one.
We'll come back to number 19.
Oh, this is tough. Emma Littman's got to be 16. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
It's 2014.
So we've got number 20, the right
Abby
back.
McManus missed this game.
Interesting, because we did actually just see a clip of who got the assist.
Yeah.
Oh, Crystal Johnson, of course.
We saw, yeah, okay, so there's
Yeah,
there's
I
the
didn't
right
know
back
she was number
sorted.
7. I should know that. It's my best mate. Was Lucy Bronze in the team then?
She wasn't in the team, no, she wasn't. So we've got the number 14.
Nikki Harden.
Correct.
Is it?
Yep.
Nikki
Nicola
Harden.
Harding at left back, okay.
If I get this right.
You're doing really well here, by
Yeah.
the way. And the right back.
20. Right back. Abby McManus was definitely missed this game. Was it Chelsea? Chelsea...
It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't. What about the number 19?
Nikita Barras?
Incorrect.
No, it weren't. She weren't at the club then.
Steve, any ideas?
Well, I was just going to say, kick-off said 12:15, so...
No, I've got to get this.
That's all right, we can honestly take your time. I think you have got this. 2 players to find. This memory is sensational, by the way.
Is it?
Very, very good.
Littman.
So the full pack. Would you like a clue?
9 years?
Yeah, please.
10 years?
Do you want a clue, yeah?
Years.
Both players are England internationals.
No.
Oh, there's flags next to them, so...
Oh, well, I know that. But did they play for the national team? I don't think they did.
No.
Oh, my God, I've got one. Tash Flint, because it's number 19.
Yeah, correct. Tash Flint
Yes.
is the striker, and then you've got your right back.
But I don't know why she played striker that game. She midfield that right back.
Your right back. One more, and we've got a full house.
Struggling here, and I'm on the spot. Can we come back to it? Don't know. Number 20. Struggling.
If they're watching this, they're going to be gutted.
I know, I do feel terrible, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get it.
Oh, another one of my best... Georgia Brome.
You know what? So you knew it all along.
Georgia Brome.
Can
It's
you
difficult
believe
remembering,
that?
though, like, who was part of the squad at the time,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Because that was Lucy Bronze as well, wasn't it? Like...
Oh, when you're looking at that
Georgia
starting
Brome.
lineup going into the final
Ah.
for the game against Arsenal, confident bunch. Confident bunch, and I imagine you had a very, very good
Also
time.
looking, thinking, how did we do it?
But you did it.
But
we did.
Indeed.
Do you know what? It was our togetherness. It was definitely was. The togetherness of that group and the players. You know, we were just such a tight-knit squad. And sometimes that gets you over the line more than just the quality.
Absolutely.
But yeah, sorry, Georgia. I'm so... George's actually a really good friend
I thought it was actually a very good effort, because I wouldn't...
Wasn't bad,
I
was
probably
it?
wouldn't remember.
I mean, you did get 11 out of 11, so...
Yeah.
I mean, that's
In the end.
full house. It took time, but you still got it.
we did.
And she remembered you, Georgia. She was just playing mind games with you. Right, let's head on, shall we, and listen to the voice of City's captain, Laia Alexandri.
My main dish would be sushi, of course. I think everyone loves dogs, so I'll be a dog just for a day or for the rest of my life. Hi everyone, I'm Laia Alexandri. Welcome to my Ask Me Anything. Laia MCWFC is asking, what does it feel like seeing your name on a fan shirt? I think it's always special with the little girls and the fans. It's always special supporting you with the name on the back of the shirt. Liz Falconer is asking, what was going through your mind last season when you scored the winner against Arsenal in the FA Cup? Well, I think it was a very special moment. Also, it was in a key moment for the team. I'm always happy to help the team, either ways, with a goal, with an assist, with my performance. So it was super exciting and super special. Dragon7878 is asking, which player has the best changing room music? Whoa. Okay, I'll say I really like Alex's music because she's like playing different styles. So sometimes I can hear Spanish music as well, so that's why I like her music. Thomas Man City is asking, what would your final meal be? Starters, main and desserts? I think I'll go for a Japanese menu because I really like Japanese food. My starter would be edamame. My main dish would be sushi, of course. And my dessert, Basque cheesecake. Jessa X is asking, what would you be if you weren't a footballer? I really like to be a creative person, so maybe I'd like to be a painter, maybe. Or I really like surf, maybe surfing. MCWFC Lauren 56 is asking, if you could be any animal for the rest of your life, what would you be? I think a dog. I think everyone loves dogs, so yeah. Sometimes with my dog look, I'm thinking, what is he just doing right now? Why? Hopefully, like, he can speak to me, so I'll be a dog just for a day or for the rest of my life. Stockport Crafting Bees is asking, if you couldn't play in your position, what position would you play in? Well, I really like to be in touch with the ball during the game, so I think I'll choose midfield position, like a 8 or a 10. Yeah, maybe 6, but I play as a 6, so yeah, I'll choose 8 or 10. Maron Mafia 621 is asking, what is your favorite movie and why? My favorite movie is Now You See Me, and why? I don't know. It was super good, and I really enjoy it, like watching it. So yeah, it's my favorite movie. Thank you for watching my Ask Me Anything.
Well, thank you very much for answering the questions. That was very insightful. Let's have a word on our skipper then, because you know her very well.
Oh, she's an absolute star. I played with her at Atletico Madrid. Obviously, she was a lot younger then, but I just knew from the moment that I played with her, one of the best defenders I played with, especially on the ball, how comfortable, composed she is, but also versatile. She's played in the 6 as well, and I'm so glad that she's come over to England, you know, because you learn a new culture, new lifestyle, different type of game, and I know it'll benefit her in the long term, but an absolute superstar, and captain today, be a big, big honour for her and a big step up. So I hope she has a really, really good game. Great girl.
Yeah, we can't wait to watch her in action. We also can't wait to see Bunny Short and Yui Hasegawa. We've got the pleasure of speaking to them, and also another one of your teammates, your ex-teammates, KB. We'll hear from them all right now.
Fowler with the strike! Oh, it's in! Mary Fowler! Terrific late winner! And surely now, Manchester City are on their way to the Women's League Cup final.
This is the place that we want to be, and this is where we speak about all the time about pushing our levels and improving each and every day. So when we arrive to these games, we're ready, and it's here now. So we just have to prep. We have a couple of days leading into the final, so we have to just get our details right, know what we're going to do when the game comes, and try to execute it on the day. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
We played well last game, and then we have a new manager, and we have different energy. So yeah, I'm so excited.
Like the individual awards they're good, but I think for me, it's ultimately the team wins that I get the most satisfaction from. So yeah, we're in a finals coming Saturday, and yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm rearing to go for that one for sure.
I haven't get the trophy in this club, so yeah, I'm so excited.
I know it's a bit cliche, but I just focus on the next game. How can I improve? How can I get better? If I had 5 chances, I scored 2. I'm still mad at those 3, even though I scored 2. So that's just the type of player I am, and I just want to be better, and I want to raise the level and, you know, be better than I was yesterday. But yeah, I think by the type of player I am, ultimately the stats come and the goals come, and I think that's important. But if we're winning games, I'm just as happy.
We have a lot of games, but I think we have to focus on just one game.
We've been consistently winning games, but at the crucial time, we always feel like we fell short. So I think that's something that we spoke on as a team. How can we arrive there and also win in that crucial time? Because I feel like over the past couple of seasons that I've been here, we're very close and we get closer and closer and closer, but we just haven't been able to get over the line. So what do we need to do to get over the line? And I think that's just what we've been focusing on as a team, and the season is the season where we are now, but we just have to look forward and look what's ahead, and that's the Champions League and the Cup, and try to get back up on the table in the league.
It's always going to be tough.
These are the games we look forward to.
We are going to give it everything.
We want to win.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Hello again from Pride Park. Karen, we've obviously been watching the warm-ups behind us going on. Everyone's looking quite sharp and up for it, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, see a lot of the girls taking a lot of shots in front of goal, hitting the back of the net, some great saves from, you know, the keepers. And, you know, ultimately, I think for me, the energy is high, which is really exciting. Good vibes all around from the staff, from, you know, the players that aren't involved in the squad today. But, yeah, you know, Viv looks sharp, Mary looks sharp, Bunny looks like she's ready to go. So, yeah, I'm really excited for what we're going to see today.
There was one little bit I saw where Emu played a ball through Jess Park's legs.
Oh,
and
right.
then she kind of gave her a little jokey wag. But it just shows the players are relaxed, which I suppose you've been in so many big games and finals in the past. How important is it to enjoy it as well as focus?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes people say, you know, like, don't think about the occasion of it. But when I reflect back on my career, I think there are a lot of times where maybe I didn't appreciate, you know, how fun it was. And maybe I took things too seriously. So I think it's important for the girls to be able to appreciate what they have in front of them in terms of the opportunity to win some silverware, but to go and have some fun and enjoy it and play with that freedom that hopefully they'll be allowed.
And looking at the Chelsea team, there's obviously some big names not in there. I mean, you look at Naomi Girma, Kira Walsh, Guru Wrighton as well as another one, but then there's so much quality still when you look at the rest of the team, isn't there? Yeah,
it's interesting. I think we were all kind of wondering if that Kira Walsh call was going to be like a bit of a mind game or not. You know, was she going to make it to the final today? But you know, they still have some quality, like you mentioned. Obviously, likes of Erin Cuthbert coming back to fitness, and she'll make a massive impact in the squad. But, you know, Lauren James, is she going to be out on the left? Will she be drifting inside? Will we see Sandy Baltimore getting forward like we did against Brighton? So I think there's a lot to talk about, a lot to consider. What kind of Lucy Bronze are we going to see today? Will she be staying back and defending a bit more, or will she getting forward too? So, yeah, lots of questions that are going to be really interesting to watch unfold.
And a big opportunity for young Gracie Pryor as well. It's only her 11th appearance for City, but she's really come on leaps and bounds whenever she's played, hasn't she?
Yeah, no, she's been fantastic. I remember, you know, when she went away with the first team to Australia and they played PSG, and she made some absolutely outstanding decisions and some great challenges and tackles, and we've just seen her improve over the course of the season. So, strong, confident pairing alongside Alexandri. So I think, yeah, you know, it's going to be a tough game for her today, obviously with Myra Ramirez up against her as well, but I think she's got all the capabilities to deal with it.
Really exciting. Can I push you for a score prediction, or at least sort of which way do you think it's going to go?
Oh, wow. Look, it's going to be tight. I really hope it's going to be like, you know, I'd love to say like a 1-0, but I think Chelsea have a goal in them, so I'm going to say 2-1 City.
Oh, I hope so too. Inside the 90 or after extra time?
I certainly hope inside the 90. I mean, otherwise I'm going to freeze to death.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping you're right, and I'm with you, KB. Thanks for your time. And
Absolutely.
Come on, City. Let's do it.
Look at that energy from Mr. George Kelsey. And KB, thank you for your amazing work. KB's on co-coms, so she's heading up to the co-coms place. We've not got long to go, Steve. How are you feeling?
A little bit apprehensive. As I said, I think, you know, we were talking before, and Toni sort of said, which is true, sometimes it is good to be the underdog, you know, slightly. So really, it's up to Chelsea to push it forward. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I can definitely see a very good game and hopefully a very positive result.
Yeah, you're watching the live shots from Pride Park, Toni. I mean, you've sort of put me at ease a little bit more. I feel a lot more confident being sat next to you. How are you feeling?
I wish I was out there. And Nick said before the game he'd love to have me. I'd love to be playing. It's just days like this that makes me miss football, to be honest. But excited for the girls. You know, it's a massive, massive opportunity for them. Under no pressure, really, if I'm being honest. All the pressure's on Chelsea, as we've spoke about. But I just really hope they can do it. Yeah. It's going to be a great game, look forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Great to see a sea of sky blue as well at Pride Park. Let me just read the team news out to you again if you missed it. In goal is Yamashita, and it's Kasparai, Gracie Pryor, Alexandra the captain, Ahabi, Hasegawa, Miedemar, Rord, Thagino, Fowler and Bunny Shaw. That's one change from the win at the weekend against Aston Villa. Steve, if you've got to pick one player out of the team, who are you most looking forward to seeing?
Bunny Shaw. I think everybody looks at Bunny Shaw, but I mean, we kind of covered her a little bit before the game. Top player, always, she's just going to be a threat. I think even if, you know, she's the type of player really that might not be involved in the game, but any time the ball's going to be in and around the vicinity, then you'll be looking, she is going to pose the threat 100%, and the Chelsea defenders will not like that.
Yeah, they won't like it at all. I mean, with it being a neutral venue, potentially a place, you know, the pitch isn't as good as the one at the Joy Stadium they played at the weekend. Does that factor in?
I don't think it matters, to be honest. As a player, I would have liked to play at Wembley. I would have liked this game to be at Wembley. It's not, so you just deal with it. I mean, both teams have to play on the pitch, on the same pitch. But yeah, hopefully the City fans can get behind the team. The crowd can play their part, and I just really want City to win so bad. Come on, girls.
Yeah, and our players are heading out now at Pride Park, so we're about to head over in a couple of minutes. A quick reminder that you can listen to exclusive live commentary on the City Plus app. It's Nick Walsh and Karen Bardsley on the commentary team. Right, I'm getting some predictions from you. I want some score predictions before we head back.
I'm going to say 1-1, City penalties.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to say. It's a long stint for you if it is.
I'm here anyway, so it makes no difference.
As long as City win, it doesn't matter about penalties.
Yeah.
I think Karen had said 2-1, so I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah.
So you're just going to copy KB? Well, listen.
Pretty much. I'll tell you what, I'll go 3-1.
That's a big result. It was 3-1 in 2022.
So we're all going for City wins. And listen, I hope you guys enjoy the cup final. We'll be back very, very shortly. Let's head over to our commentary team.
Thanks, FG, and to the team, Tony and to Steve. What an afternoon in prospect for Manchester City. Saturday's Women's League Cup final represents the first opportunity of the season to win silverware. Heavyweights Chelsea and Manchester City looking to take advantage. Chelsea on course to win a 6th consecutive Women's Super League title and remain unbeaten as they aim to secure a historic quadruple. But City have their own agenda. They're still alive in 3 cup competitions, including today, while the race for Champions League qualification is still to be resolved. There is also the bizarre matter of the two sides meeting each other 4 times in 12 days across 3 different competitions. Following Saturday's final, these 2 Women's Super League heavyweights will contest a 2-legged Champions League quarter-final with a Women's Super League fixture sandwiched between. So we've got the pre-match pleasantries, enough time to bring you the starting 11s today and the headline changes. 4 changes for Chelsea: Ashley Lawrence, Vika Kopten, Aggie Beaver-Jones and Maika Hamano drop to the bench. And that means starts for Shogun Nushkin, Myra Ramirez, Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd and Lucy Bronze against her old club, of course. So it'll be a 4-2-3-1 formation for Chelsea. Hannah Hampton in goal, a back 4 of Lucy Bronze, Natalie Bjorn, Millie Bright the captain, Sandy Baltimore, the holding 2 of Erin Cuthbert and Nushkin, Rytting-Kaneryd, Katerina Macario, Lauren James and Myra Ramirez. Myra Ramirez on target when the two sides met in Women's Super League back in November. And for Manchester City, just the one change from the 2-0 win against Aston Villa in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Jess Park drops to the bench and is replaced by Alba Fujino. So a 4-3-3 formation for Manchester City. It'll be Ayaka Yamashita in goal,